I'm a terrible dancer. And that's the wrong video. But we'll fix it in a minute. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SATAL 2021. As always, I'm your host, Moltar. And my milkman, you guys may think that is weird, but I have a milkman. Just got here, so my wife's bringing me down some cheese because I need some energy to get going. But today's matchup is a doubleheader. Bravo Squadron taking on number 15 Battle Axes in TAW, taking on 14th VFS. Let me grab something real quick so we can fix that. Just fix this. Get rid of that. But how is everybody's day going? Have you guys checked out the patch yet? You guys given it a look-see of what's going on and how it is all getting going? It looks pretty good. It looks like it's, you know, good. Sure. That doesn't look good. That looks all right, though. Let's do... How do I want to do this? Like that. And like that. There. But what do you guys think is going to happen today? Bravo, new player to the field. Number 15, veterans. 4v4 is getting us started today. No time to check it out, blah, blah, blah. Check and chat. Moltar uses cheese like coffee. I got soda and stuff here, but I need some food. My body's got to get some food to get going, especially on these doubleheader streams. It's just, I got to have something to get going. J-Man, what's up, brother? Haven't talked to you in forever. How are you? It's good to see some of the veterans coming back and joining us, but let's jump back in and refocus here on today's match. Bravo Squadron taking on number 15 Battle Axes. Lots of 16s. Number 15 historically has brought the Tomcat. We'll have to see if they're bringing it today. I'm just really excited to see how this is going. Thanks, love. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Supercut coming at you, and then right after that, we will be in the action. It looks like it's going to be Kataisi against Tbilisi. So enjoy the Supercut. We'll be in the pit when we get back. So here we are, currently taking a look at Bravo Squadron as they taxi. Bravo Squadron is going to be, I believe, at Kataisi, because that looks to me like Kataisi. Yes, they are. They are at Kataisi. Who is flying today? Well, Bravo Squadron being represented by 4 F-16s, Bobcat, Predator. Me, he's going to be me. Me Harpronin. Hapronin. That's what we'll say today. And then strangers. So 4 F-16s coming for Bravo Squadron, Bobcat, Predator, Hapronin, and strangers. And then for number 15, we have 3 F-16s, Raven, Cougar, and Skinner, and then Viper in the singular F-14. Now, Viper or anybody from number 15, who was Viper's Rio? Anybody know? I'd like to give him a shout out and what's going on for him. Because I hate overlooking the Rios. I just don't have any info on who they are. But that is who is representing both of these teams. Black screens just as everything gets dialed in here. OBS, why you do this to me? There we go. As things get dialed in, Here's number 15, Raven, down at Tbilisi. I'm really interested to see how this goes. The aggression, I'm always interested to see how all these matches go. But the aggression that we typically see out of number 15, coupled with the F-16, number 15, coupled with the F-16, I think is going to be a sight to see. Very limited quantities of missiles. The F-16's only going to carry 6 AMRAAMs. It's going to be the 120C because this is an unlimited format. I'm not sure what Viper in the Tomcat is going to be taking. Raven is a demon from Indian mythology. Is that how it's spelled in Indian mythology? With the 2 A's like that? Not sure what the AIM-54 variant the Viper is going to be taking. Can we tell by looking at them? Chat, do you know? Can you tell by just looking at an AIM-54 which version it is? Or is it just the motor and it takes the same casing? I'd be interested to know that too. If we can actually tell. You can tell by on the AMRAAMs, like if we look at these AMRAAMs, right? You can tell it's a B or a C because the B has the bigger fins. The C has clipped wingtips. You can see that the ends of those fins are clipped. The B has bigger fins. The C has smaller fins. So it's a lot more energy retentive. The B theoretically should be able to turn sharper. I don't know if that's still the case in the sim. It used to be the case in the sim where the B was much better turning than the C was. But I'd like to know if we can tell with the Phoenix. Streamlabs bot right there is showing you an example of the overlay that is going to be coming to the stream. That overlay is what we are going to have live here very, very soon. Akagi and I are going to do a test this afternoon, my time, and see if it works. Supposedly it already works. We're going to do a test, so fingers crossed we could get that overlay possibly tomorrow. Possibly. Don't hold me to it, but massive shout out to the team, Sean, Bear, and of course Akagi for making this happen and making it a possibility. Because that overlay, I think, is going to send us to the next level. Pernadov, please no Moltar, it blocks everything. I'm not going to keep it up the whole time. It's not going to stay up the entire time. It's just going to stay up in order so we can get an idea of what's going on. It won't stay up the whole time. Don't worry about it. And I think you guys think about it this way, that it may seem intrusive right now, but the data that overlay is able to give you is going to vastly outweigh the amount of screen real estate that it blocks. It should only be seen in TAC view. Maybe. That's a good point. I'll have different scenes and stuff that we can flip back and forth between. Don't worry. It won't be up all the time. But the amount of information that thing's going to show is going to get a lot of info. Like those, the jet icons are going to be specific for everybody's aircraft that they're flying. J-Man, type ! overlay, and you'll be able to see it. The icons, I think, should flash. I don't know if it's going to be in there by the time we release it, but the icon should flash whenever that pilot releases a missile. So you're going to have altitude, airspeed, fuel state, gun, and weapons. Okay? Just tons of stuff, tons of info for everybody's jet, and it is updated in real time. Real time. That's huge. Huge. So shout out again to Sean, Bear, and Akagi for making this happen. It's going to be amazing. We modeled it off of the Counter-Strike livery. Or not livery. The hell am I talking about? It's not a livery. We modeled it off of the Counter-Strike overlay that they use for competitive play. Flaming OnlyFans Moltar script solved? Scripts for what? You mean for the missions? I think it may have been a false alarm. So there was some issues with monitoring events in BDA, which is, I don't know exactly what BDA is, but I think it's like the monitoring tool that Bear was using to monitor stuff. And it was freaking out. But I think what ended up happening was BDA, the monitoring tool, was broken. Are the skins fixed? I think so. Right, these are just simple. So you can see Bravo team right here. You can see on the vertical tail stab, Bravo team right there, focused and relaxed on there. Number 15, I don't think has a livery that I know of. But you can see Bravo team's vertical stab right there before they take off. I'm going to be updating and keeping track more on the liveries and checking them before every time we go into a match to make sure that everything's working. So we should be good to go. Amir Dream, do you ever stream your own personal gameplay of DCS? I used to, but what ends up happening with that, Dream, is that it takes the fun out of flying. So I really like doing it this way because I can separate my own flying from the streaming, right? It makes me feel like my flying is still for me, and the matches are for everything else. I miss those good old rifle ×3 pickle. Dude, it's rifle ×6, you loser. Get 6 AGMs off. But I keep them separated now. I don't really stream my own gameplay. I stream now every day, virtually, for this stuff. We have enough matches in SATAL that we go every day. So it keeps us busy. We got enough going on. Wait for confirmation on update. We should have confirmation today. I think Bear was just finishing up testing with some of the guys in the hangar. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to update. So if you want to go ahead and update, I don't think we have any issues. Flaming Only fans, you should be good to go. The F-14B cockpit got an update. What updated with the F-14B? You mind sharing? While these guys ingress. Reminder, this is number 15 against Bravo Squadron. For anybody just joining us, let's take a look at who's flying. So Bravo Squadron's rocking 4 F-16s, Bobcat, Predator, me, Harp-Ronin, and Strangers. And then for number 15, you've got Raven, Viper, Cougar, and Skinner. 3 16s and 1 14. Just to recap what everyone is flying today. So 7 16s and 1 14. Fuel gauge was updated on the 14B to digital instead of analog. It has a digital fuel gauge? Really? Will SATAL ever have World War II matches? We will have a BFM tournament. I don't think we'll have SATAL, but DCS World Events will have BFM with World War II. We launched this ladder. God. Everybody really wanted the ladder. We launched the ladder, and everybody's like, this looks so good. Nobody used it. Everybody talks this mean game, but nobody wants to get in and showcase their stuff one-on-one because evidently they may lose. F-14B also got radar stuff, too, I think. What did it get for the radar? No, the F-14B received the proper engine instrument group. Mirage needs the mica. I don't think the version of the Mirage we have in game ever got the mica, did it? I don't think it did. Did it? Look at all those 16s. So many of them. Well, Raven's on there twice. Yeah, I thought the M2000 never got the mica, only the version 5. Which we don't have, I don't think. I've still got a BFM Modern. If anybody, yeah, Raptor Dad's been like the only one trying to make something happen. All right, these guys are getting into it. Take a look at the TAC view so we can see where everybody is. Again, this is Kutaisi against Tbilisi. Number 15 is in this like wall formation, and we're gonna grab one of these Tomcats so we can see, or one of the only Tomcat and Viper, because he's probably going to launch early. He's got the 6 AMRAAMs. He's still got his bags on, 2 AIM-9s on his jet, so 8 missiles in total. He's the only one with 8 missiles. 7 16s, they're going to have 6 apiece. All of them are carrying 6 AMRAAMs. There is no reason on God's green earth in SATAL with the AIM-9X band to carry an AIM-9 mic when you can carry an AIM-120. No reason at all. 120 every day of the week instead of the AIM-9X on the 16. Now, 18, you can't put AIM-120s on the wingtip like you can with the 16. So you're going to carry the AIM-9s. But the 16, you got 6, you're taking those 120s. AIM-54, just saw it come off from Viper's aircraft. It is a Mark 60. The man made a smart choice. Mark 60 every time over the C variant of the Mark 47. So there that thing goes. It is headed up towards, looks like Bobcat. We're going to go to attack music because these guys are getting going. Headed up towards, that's not a Mark 60. There's the Mark 60. Okay, so there's an AIM-120 somewhere out in front of this Mark 60 headed towards Bobcat. And this Mark 60 actually looked to be that it was on Predator, but both Predator and Bobcat broke away early. Predator is now braking right at 9,000 feet. Bobcat braking left across below this AIM-54 at 9,000 feet. It is going to be trashed. Exchange of missiles. Me against Skinner. 120 on 120. Both these guys already defending. Nothing going to happen down here. These are just preeminent poke and prod shots. Maybe something will happen. Maybe it won't. F-14 with Viper and Cougar have recommitted up here to the north. We're going to stick with this F-14 quite a bit with Viper because he is the only one flying today. Everyone else is in a 16, and I really want to know who his Rio is. Does anybody know? He does still have his bags on. How much fuel does the F-14's bag carry? Can anybody tell me that? How much fuel does it carry, just so I can get some idea of when he should be out of bags. And to talk about the overlay here again real quick, the overlay is going to showcase internal fuel only. So when the overlay, you start to see the fuel gauge come down, and you guys can do exclamation point overlay to see what we're talking about. It hasn't been implemented in the live stream yet. When that actually, the fuel gauge starts to come down, which is the gauge underneath the name and the kill icons, it is going to be, that is internal fuel only. So when you see it start to move, you know their bags are out of gas. 4,000 pounds, 1,010 liters. Okay, good to know. Shifty, how are you? Welcome. Bobcat and Predator up to the north, now engaging. Cougar, Dragon, a 120, Raven and Skinner down to the south. Their two-ship engaging the two-ship of Strangers and me. So two-ship on two-ship in this engagement going down today. 120 now coming off of Raven's aircraft onto Stranger. And here is that missile. Here is that 120 as it comes in onto somebody down to the south. Looks like it's going to be on Raven. And then we have me coming in onto the two-ship of Raven and Skinner. So both teams being very, very aggressive. Hapronin unleashes a 120. That's the second one. Still has his wing tanks on. That one's going to be on to Skinner. Skinner's still hot. Skinner's sitting at 13,000 feet. He may be in for a world of trouble. Wake-up calls from missiles are not something that you want to see. 2 miles still closing. Hapronin has broken away. Missile still has some juice. Half mile. Face mile looks to be imminent. And Skinner's gone. Great shot by Hapronin. Able to demolish his adversary with the close range 120. Great shot there. Skinner just waited too long to launch and wasn't able to make it happen. Here is now a 120 launch. That is not the 120 I wanted. Here is a 120 launched by Strangers coming in onto Raven. Hapronin now recommitting. We're sticking with this southern two-ship. A little bit more action going on down here to the south. We'll bring the TAC view out so you guys can see standoff tactics going on more to the north. Hapronin coming in, trying to make something happen against Raven. He needs to be careful of Cougar coming in from the north. We're going to put one of these cameras onto Cougar as he comes in to try and help his friend Raven, who has become isolated. Hapronin on the right, Cougar on the left. Hapronin now, Mach 1.2, trying to run down Raven, who's on his nose. Can we see Raven out there yet? No, I can't, but we're going to go to 3 views. So Raven, Miha Pronin, and Cougar are on the views. Raven bottom left, Miha Pronin top right, and Cougar top left. So we can keep track of everything that's going on. Miha Pronin still 0.1 Mach, faster than Raven. He's got the angles on Raven. How far away is he from Raven? 5 miles. He's waiting to launch. I love this. Not launching too early, wasting one of his AMRAAMs. He still has 4 left. Closing. Cougar just launched a 120. That 120 is going to be up at Predator. Him and Predator are exchanging missiles. Predator's missiles, 1.5 miles. Looks like he's going to be able to drive that one to the ground. Miha Pronin did launch onto Raven. Now we'll go full screen onto Raven's aircraft. He's got this missile. He's not defending from Miha Pronin. 1/2 mile. Raven's going to take the ballistic enema. Gone. Miha Pronin with the 2 quick kills. Pausing this to take a look at what's going on in the area right now. This is what the battle space looks like. Viper and Cougar are surrounded. Bobcat and Predator to the north. Miha Pronin and Strangers down to the south. And we actually need to take a look at what's going on with Predator up here to the north. He's got a missile very, very close. How fast is this missile? That one's not going to do anything. How fast is he? About co-speed. He's climbing. So here is Predator. There's the missile. They're about co-speed, so I'm not worried about Predator in this instance. He's going to be able to outrun it. I think he's actually fast. Yeah, he's 0.5 Mach faster than this missile. That missile's not going to catch him. Not going to catch him ever. It's not going to happen unless he bakes into it and bleeds all of his airspeed magically, but I don't think that's going to happen. So this is what the battle space looks like. Cougar now recommitting into the 2-ship of Miha Pronin and Strangers. So we're going to ride along with Cougar as he recommits into this 2-ship. Here is Cougar coming into the 2-ship of Miha Pronin and Strangers. Here we go. Cougar has 3 missiles left. Does Strangers see him? I don't know that Strangers sees him. Here's Strangers. He's flying right over top of him. Cougar, I think, sees him, though. And 120 off from Strangers, and Strangers gets annihilated. I didn't see where that missile went, so we're going to pause it again. It's on Viper. Viper had this 120 launched on him from Strangers right before Strangers went down. Here is Viper. Launched on by Strangers. Is he going to be able to get away from it? We're going to find out. Missiles 2.5 miles behind him. I think he's going to be okay. Yeah, he's going to be okay. He's outrunning. He's over Mach 1. So we're going to pick back up with Predator here as he's now head on with Viper. Viper on the right in the F-14. Predator just launching a 120 onto Viper. Viper waits to get an AIM-9 and an AIM-54 off missiles a mile away. That was a terrible decision, Viper. Waiting to get the missile off is never the right decision as Predator makes him pay for waiting, and it didn't matter, but he does have this AIM-54. Is he going to be able to take Predator down from the grave? Missile's still going to be accelerating. Why, chat, why are F-14s taking a mix of Mark 60s and C Mark 47s? Why are they doing that? I personally would like to see the Mark 60, but I've seen this time and time again where sometimes they've got the 54 Charlie and other times they've got the Mark 60, and I know Viper had Mark 60s on his jet. Why take the C over the A Mark 60? What's the point? I don't understand that one. But Viper gets one off on a Predator. Is it going to connect? That is going to be my question. We're going to find out here in just a minute. Here we go. Coming back into Predator. He's got his air brakes out. Dude, get into the bank. But you waited too long. Things still under boost. And takes Predator to Plowtown. Gone. Now we have Miha Pronin trying to come in onto the last number 15 man remaining. And it is Cougar. And these guys have committed into one another. Missiles being fired by both these guys. Cougar waited, I think, a little bit too long to defend. Missile slams into his aircraft. Does Miha Pronin get away? Looks like he drove it into the ground. So number 15, the veterans to SATAL getting a bit manhandled. 2 men from Bravo Squadron remaining. All 4 number 15 combatants taken out. 3 by Miha Pronin. 3 of them. Triple kill. And on top of that, Miha Pronin is still alive. So Bobcat, I just saw that Shifty Mover said that Miha Pronin still has 2 missiles. He does. Wingtip missiles. And Bobcat also has 2 missiles. Sorry about that, guys. Forgot to turn the volume down. So Miha Pronin and Bobcat still have 4 missiles between them. I like that they remember to jettison their tanks. Might want to jettison them. Pernav, I don't think it's really necessary. That round got done very, very quickly. Combat started at 21 minutes and was done by 24. So fuel honestly shouldn't be a problem. Both these guys are at full mill power. I don't anticipate there being any type of fuel issue as they RTB. So we're not going to stick around with them RTBing. We're going to check out the TAC view and how the TAC view ended up going down, because we all know these guys can land. But TAC view, where does it start? There it is. So wall formation coming in here for number 15. Viper in the F-14. I'd like to see him higher. I'd like to actually see everybody from number 15 squadron higher. Their highest candidate is Skinner at 28,000 feet, Mach 1.1. Higher and faster. Impart energy onto that missile. Utilize the altitude then if you need to defend, to convert your altitude into energy to get you faster, quicker if you have to defend, right? Obviously, you don't want to get in too close to your enemy or you're going to be shit out of luck up crap creek without a paddle. But before you get to that point, you can convert altitude to energy, your missile can and your jet can. So early preliminary shots coming at a little bit of a range from something like 15 miles, nothing really connecting. Bravo Squadron does a great job of getting away from the incoming first Mark 60 from Viper. Good job there. Does take Predator a bit out of the engagement a little bit. How far away is he from his teammate? Let's see. 13 miles. So he does take him away. I like the positioning from Strangers and Miha Pronin a bit better. Number 15 doing a good job of staying a bit closer. Like to see an earlier commit back from Viper. He didn't have anything launched on him. Needs to recognize that and get back into it. But this is where things start happening for Miha Pronin. Miha Pronin goes and says, I'm going to be the man to make something happen, and he does just that. 17,000 feet, Mach 1.1. Launches a missile onto Skinner. Gets the missile off early. How far is that launch? 8 miles. Great shot. 17,000 feet onto about co-altitude Skinner. The difference here is look how much earlier Miha Pronin starts to defend than Skinner. He's a couple seconds earlier going through the split S than Skinner is, and he maintains his energy a bit better. The other thing to take note of is Miha Pronin does a full split S. Skinner does a split into a notch. Doesn't notch it perfectly, and you can see what ends up happening. The missile reaches Skinner when his own missile is still 2 miles away from its intended target. That's the difference between a full split S and just trying to get into the notch. Miha Pronin taking the appropriate defensive maneuver and gets away from that one scot-free. Okay, next is again Miha Pronin. Second commitment. Strangers. Puts a missile onto Raven, forces him defensive. Miha Pronin recognizing that there's nobody else here, maybe trusting his data link a little bit, but he does have depth. I like this. You have depth to your formation. Strangers is behind Miha Pronin, scanning for additional targets. So he gives the opportunity for Miha Pronin to be more aggressive and not worry about other potential threats, right? Because he's got this depth of Strangers sitting behind him, and Strangers is about 6 miles. That's pretty good. Strangers could climb while he's doing this if I was going to be nitpicking. Don't stay stationary at 21,000 feet. Climb. Get that altitude to get the better SA if I was going to nitpick on anything. Miha Pronin closes the distance on Raven. That missile launch comes from 4 miles. Great launch, Mach 1.1. He's going to have a difficult time outrunning that, and he has, indeed, a very difficult time as that missile slams into the back of his aircraft. Raven possibly could have gotten away from this if he would have serpentined. Back and forth, big serpentines, max energy to bleed that missile out of potential energy as it has to turn with your jets. Remember, the 120 doesn't burn for very long. So it's under gravity, right? And any energy that it's built up to that point. So if you can bleed it while your aircraft is under power, you're going to eventually be able to outrun it because it's not replacing that lost energy with its motor. It's already burned out. Cougar then comes in, takes down Strangers, and this was a case of Strangers being a little bit lost, right? They don't have the depth in their formation anymore. Miha Pronin hasn't replaced Strangers yet when they pass. I'd like to see Strangers diving in this scenario as he passes, coming down. He is a little bit, but not quite as aggressively as I'd like. And Cougar, to Cougar's credit, Cougar's probably hidden from AWACS. Swan, I think it burns for like 6 seconds is how long the 120 burns. In comparison, the AIM-54 burns for 30 seconds. All right, so not very long. It's a fast, intense burn, but after those 6 seconds, it's on its own free fall, if you will, falling with style. So Stranger comes in here, gets hammered by Cougar, the unseen adversary, and Cougar could have taken down Miha Pronin, but he doesn't see him. And I don't know what the terrain's like in this scenario. We can dive down here. So there's Miha Pronin. He may just not show up on data link, but Cougar could have had him. Maybe he got spooked. Maybe Cougar got spooked and thought he was going to get sorted, so he just broke away into a defensive. I'm not sure, but he could have had a double kill. Then we've got Predator and Bobcat. Predator comes in hard against Viper. Predator in this situation needs to recognize that I'm against the Tomcat. I'm launching from, how far away is he? I'm launching from 6 miles. There is no way in hell you are going to outrun a AIM-54 from this range. It's not going to happen. So instead of turning full cold, you need to get into the notch. You need to be thinking ahead of your jet and think, when I release this missile, I need to be notching. You also need to be looking at your data link and seeing where is the other enemy and notch away. So in this case, Predator would have made a low left-hand turn to get in the notch instead of right-hand because he would come head-along into Cougar. So that notch would have out-energied the missile launch from Cougar and radar-notched the AIM-54 coming from Predator that ended up running him down. He panics there at the last moment and gets hit, and that's it. Bravo Squadron able to take down number 15 pretty overwhelmingly with 2 pilots remaining. And Bravo, remember, is the newcomers to the block over number 15. Number 15's been doing this for a while. So number 15's got some stuff to show here in round 2, and we'll have round 2 here back in just a minute. Miha Pronin got 3 kills in round 1. 3 kills! That hardly ever happens when teams get that many kills. Just took it to number 15, showcasing that being a veteran doesn't really matter on the competitive stage. But let's recap who is flying in today's match. Bravo Squadron with 4 16s, Bobcat, Predator, Miha Pronin with the 3 kills, and Strangers, all in F-16s. And then we have number 15 Battle Axes, Raven, Viper, Cougar, and Skinner. Cougar and Viper with the 2 kills for number 15, 3 16s and 1 14 between them. What does number 15 need to do to come back in this one? Well, I think number 15 needs to be more aggressive, and they need to have a higher energy state and be higher on their initial ingress. They also need to make better utilization of the Tomcat. Viper and his Rio, I don't know who his Rio is, have the potential to change the round. They can single-handedly dominate the airspace if the opposition allows them to. The key with the Tomcat is don't get too close to the Viper where you start catering to what the Viper wants. The Viper is like a dog on a leash, right? That's just chomping at the bit to be let off. It wants to get to that close to medium range, really high energy state and just pulverize its opponent. It doesn't really want to get to the merge. Now, in today's match, it could want to get to the merge because there's no Hornets. The Viper gets really kind of manhandled by the Hornet in a merge right now. So in this case, the Viper would actually do pretty well getting into a merge against the Tomcat, and of course because it's against other Vipers. So the Tomcat itself wants to stay in that medium range, kind of close medium range maybe. If it can wait to launch Mark 60s from 10 miles, right, at let's say 15,000 feet, it will cause mayhem for Bravo Squadron. Absolute pandemonium. The key, though, is to look for those launches and capitalize when they present themselves. Okay? So that is the key, I think, for number 15 to be able to come back from this one. And I also like to point out that, guys, I do not watch these matches ahead of time. I have no idea what's going to happen. I do have notes of when kills take place, but that's all I got. I don't go any further than that. That's all I know. So you guys are riding along with me. My reactions are authentic. I don't know how this stuff goes. I just have notes from when kills take place. So those are the key points that I think number 15 needs to utilize in order to come out on this. Bravo, on the other hand, their key here is going to be to get close and to have depth. When we saw Strangers and Miha Pronin down to the south with their Southern 2-ship, if they can do that again and always have that depth, it kind of broke down when Miha Pronin broke away and Strangers was coming in trail. If they can continually do that, I think they'll be okay. And a way to make sure that that doesn't break down is they could try and wait, right? Not wait, have more distance between the lead and trailing aircraft so that the trailing aircraft has time and distance to be able to pick up possible threats. So maybe instead of 6 miles, you change that distance to something like 10 miles. And also increase your altitude and increase your energy state. So if you do get a pop-up bandit, you're able to react accordingly. You're able to convert that altitude into energy and get away. So those are the keys that I think these teams need to do in order to be successful coming into round 2. The 14 for number 15 is the turnkey item for number 15. The depth for Bravo Squadron is going to be what they need to focus on the flip side of that. Would be nice. Typhoon, yes, that will be cool. Anybody just joining us, because I think last time we talked about this, we were in the 90s for viewers. Check out !overlay. That overlay is coming possibly tomorrow. Okay, so that overlay could very well be on stream for tomorrow's matchup. It is live, updated, fuel, missiles, gun. Why didn't it go for Bear? Should have gone. Maybe because Bear's a mod? Well, it doesn't want to work now. I start talking it up, and then the chat... What? Hold on, I'll get it for you guys. There you go. I don't know why it didn't populate. But that's the overlay. So live fuel, live gun ammo, live missiles, live kill count. That's coming very, very soon, and it's all updated in real time. Bandhammer, what music does it play? That's a good question. If there was a bandhammer, what would it do? So we got the 4 pilots, Skinner, Viper, Cougar, and Raven for number 15. And then Bravo Squadron, if my mouse didn't freak out. Strangers. Myhapronin, Predator, and who's the other one? And Bobcat coming in for these guys. So we're going to keep an eye on Viper in the F-14. Is he going to be able to make something happen? If he can, it is number 15's match to lose. If he can't, I think we're going to see a very similar result to what happened in round 1. When you make the trade of one of the newer aircraft like an 18 or a 16 for the older F-14 that has more antiquated systems, doesn't have the SA, you have got to utilize its weapons advantage that it has at medium to long range in order to counteract the age deficit that you're putting yourself in SA-wise. So there is an AIM-54. It is a Mark 60 coming off from number 15's Viper. And that thing, not sure who it's tracking yet because it's headed towards a smorgasbord of Bravo aircraft. Stranger, Myhapronin, Bobcat, and Predator are all pretty closely linked. Missiles at 60,000 feet went through Mach 5. It was at Mach 5 for a brief moment. So she is a moving. Right now, she's still at 2,500 knots. Are they going to be able to defeat it before this missile comes down to terminal guidance? And how much energy is this missile going to lose by the time it makes it to pit bull? So we're at 2,000 knots, is at 1,900 knots, 1,800, slowly descending, and then it does this like weird thing where it just bleeds speed. I don't know why it does that, but it looks like it's headed towards Strangers. Did it lose track? It may be on Myhapronin, and Myhapronin is going to be further back in the engagement zone, already in a notch, and I can't tell if this thing is tracking him, but here's Myhapronin in the bottom right. Missile does not look like it's tracking him. You can see Myhapronin on the main screen 6 miles away off to the left. AIM-54 is not tracking. So team's doing a very good job of defending early and trashing the AIM-54s that are launched from distance. This is another reason why I think it's important to wait to launch the Phoenix. Wait. When you launch from this range, pilots are good enough and teams are good enough to recognize and see the launch and then defend accordingly. By the time the missile reaches its target, it's dead. It's dead. So that missile's trashed. Going back to Viper to see what he's doing. He is recommitted. And now we've got a 120 coming in onto Raven. Raven, though, has broken away. He is full cold, Mach 1 and accelerating down low. 120 that he's dragging several miles behind him is coming and decelerating down to Mach 1.2, so that missile is trashed. Now, back to TAC view. So Bravo Squadron, again, is separating into these 2-2 ships. Now, from last round, the 2-2 ships seem to operate fairly well within themselves, but this separation, if number 15 decides to press everyone towards one, for instance, if Cougar and Viper were to press up against the northern 2-ship, this 2-ship of Bobcat and Predator would be left out in the cold. They wouldn't be able to do anything. They're too far away to provide mutual support. Now, Viper just launched an AIM-54. It's another Mark 60. It's going to be coming in on Bobcat. Here is Bobcat on the left. We're going to put the AIM-54 on the right. I think. AIM-54 actually looks like it's coming off on a Predator. So the AIM-54, is it trashed? It's trashed. So Bobcat, sticking with Bobcat, launches a missile up at Cougar. Viper has launched another AIM-54. This is a C variant down at Predator. Here is that launch. We can see it right here. So the AIM-54 coming down at Predator. Predator was already defending an incoming AIM-54. If we move over to Predator's point of view, can we see that missile? No. It's off of burn stage, 3.5 miles, but she is closing. She is booking it. And Predator needs to do a little bit better of getting into the notch. He's trying to find it, but the missile still looks like it's tracking, and this may be a ramrod opportunity. 0.3 miles, closing. Is he going to be able to outrun it? Yes, but there's another one coming for Predator's face. 0.26, and this one's going to hit him like a Mack truck. 1 mile, half mile, face smile. Predator is gone. So Predator's the first casualty. Viper able to make use of that Tomcat. How many AIM-54s does the Tomcat still have on its underside? So here it is. He's still got 2 AIM-54s. He's launched 4 so far, but Viper able to get the first kill on Predator. Now looking at Bobcat. Bobcat just launched an AIM-120 up onto Viper. Viper now defending. Here's Viper on the right defending, trying to get away, diving low, missiles being drugged down into the thicker air. Is he going to be able to line his sight it or drive it into the ground? Drives into the ground. Great defensive maneuver by Viper. Needs to recognize, hey, I don't need that chaff anymore. 120 now out from Cougar onto Bobcat. Cougar, meanwhile, dragging a 120. He drove that one to the ground. So pausing this just so you guys can take a look at the overall battle area. Standoff engagement more or less up here to the north. Strangers and Mia Bronin not being as aggressive as what's going down here in Bravo's Bobcat, Cougar, and Viper. So these guys are a little bit more standoffish than the southern ones. So we're going to stick down here on the southern engagement area. Let's continue. So Viper running away, recommitting now actually onto Bobcat, putting these guys on split screen. You guys see that? We'll go to triple screen once a weapon comes off, but these guys are now head on. No, Bobcat's broken into somewhat of a notch. Now he's recommitting. Missile now off from Viper. How is Bobcat going to react to that? He reacts with an AIM-120. Going to tri-view here. Bobcat on the top, needing to defend. Missile burning towards its intended target, which is Bobcat 3 miles away. The missile's on Viper. Viper is running away. Missile's now 1.5 miles. Bobcat needs to notch better. Bobcat gets slammed by the 120. So Viper making his presence felt in the F-14 Tomcat. 2 kills early in this match. So I felt the Tomcat was going to be crucial and making something happen for number 15. Viper seems to have heard me and has made it work, eliminating Predator and Bobcat from contention. 2 aircraft remain for Bravo Squadron. And this is how everything looks right now. 2 aircraft remaining for Bravo Squadron. Strangers now trying to run down Skinner up to the north. Here is Skinner as he runs away from that 120. Can we see it? Where is it? There it is. 1.5 miles away. Strangers is 5 miles away. Skinner's at 600 knots indicated. Strangers is probably going to be about the same. Skinner really needs to try and stay alive long enough for Raven, Cougar, and Viper to come in and provide mutual support. He's now recommitting. Thought about actually recommitting onto Strangers. Strangers, meanwhile, broke away, I guess fearing a possible off gimbal. 120 from Skinner's aircraft. 120 now, off from Raven. Let's grab that 120 from Raven. Here's that 120 from Raven coming in onto Mia Pronin. That one looks like it got line of sighted. It's not tracking anymore, and it is going to slam into the Georgian countryside. Now, Viper dragging a 120. He's Mach 1.3. We don't see Tomcats this fast very often, but Viper doing a great job of utilizing that energy to defend against incoming threats. Now, Strangers and Mia Pronin need to defend. Here is Strangers defending a 120 from Raven. Mia Pronin needs to do exactly the same. So we're going to... Mia Pronin just got slammed by an incoming 120. And that leaves just Strangers to fight a 4-ship. A 4-ship from number 15. So let's pause this and take a look at what the TAC view looks like. Any encroaching threats. Mach 2.62 coming in on the Strangers, and I think this spells death for Strangers. Strangers' point of view, can we see the missile? 5,000 feet. It should be about co-altitude. Is he banking into it? There it is, 2 miles away. And I think this is going to be it for Strangers as this missile barrels in on his location, and he gets slammed. So Strangers, the last man standing. Oh, that was an AIM-54, came from Viper. So Viper got 3 kills in that round. 1 from distance. Launched onto Miha Pronin. Miha Pronin probably having to defend multiple missiles from different angles. Couldn't defend them all and got taken down. But let's take a look at the TAC view and see actually how that went down while these guys RTB, because we all know they can land. So backing up, this fight broke up into two ships. All right, so you got the 2 ship of Bobcat and Predator down to the south against Cougar and Viper. Me and Pronin and Strangers up north against Skinner and Raven. The South 2 ship gets things started a lot earlier, and it is much, much more aggressive. AIM-54s being launched with pure prejudice onto the 2 ship of Predator and Bobcat. That forces them to stay defensive. I like this double launch from Viper onto Predator. Predator just not able to notch it as perfectly, and that could have been that it was a C variant, a little bit more difficult to notch than the A variant. He gets a 120 off on a Cougar, but Cougar sees it, gets the RWR warning, and is able to defend accordingly. Viper then recommits, launches another AIM-54 here. Not that recommit, this one. And that slams into Bobcat. Just not quite enough perfect notch. They're not quite slow enough. The slower you are, ladies and gentlemen, when you're notching, the easier it becomes. The more flexibility you have in being not at that perfect 90 degrees. If you're fast, it's going to be more difficult. So now, moving up here to the north, we've got Strangers against, and Miha Pronin against Skinner and Raven. Skinner actually gets very lucky that this missile doesn't run him down. This was the Serpentine that I was talking about in round 1 that could have saved somebody's life. He does this nice little S maneuver, call it a Serpentine, and the missile has to track him through it. And while it's tracking and turning, because it's in pure pursuit, or even lead pursuit, mind you, it's bleeding energy. Skinner's aircraft still under power, so it can maintain or gain energy. The missile is not. So Skinner able to get away from that threat, lives to fight another day. Here's the AIM-54 that Viper launches onto Miha Pronin. And does he have another one on him? No, he just doesn't defend appropriately, tries to outrun the AIM-54 Mark 60, not able to do so. Maybe he thought this was an AIM-120. I don't know, but that thing gives him a ballistic suppository. He gets taken down. Bravo Squadron Stranger is the only one left, and he, within quick order, eats a 120 from Raven, who's sitting right there, and takes him down. So number 15, after a tough round 1, comes back here, wins round 2 with, count 'em, 4 pilots remaining. All 4 still alive. So they're going to have, in my opinion, the morale and the momentum going in here to round 3. If you guys think any differently, maybe you think Bravo Squadron's got a chance coming in here round 3, let us know in chat. But enjoy the Supercut again. Round 3 coming at you in just a minute. Fight the nail biter. We've seen plenty of round 3 so far. Domination from Bravo Squadron there in round 1. Domination from number 15 here in round 2. Raptor Dad says, you know, morale, momentum kind of goes both ways, because Bravo Squadron, I do agree with him. Bravo Squadron did win in round 1, so that's got to count for something, right? But Bravo Squadron's got to find a way to deal with that Tomcat. Who's flying that Tomcat? Let's take a look real quick. Bravo Squadron is being represented by Bobcat, Predator, Miha Pronin, and Strangers in all of their 16s. And the Tomcat and the rest of his boys on number 15, Raven, Cougar, Skinner, and Viper in his Rio in that Tomcat with the 3 kills in round 2. So Miha Pronin, 3 kills in round 1. Viper, 3 kills in round 2. It's like one guy from each team is saying, I got this. I'm going to shoulder everyone, carry everybody through. Does exactly that. Mija Pronin did that first. Viper, not to be outdone, did that next. Will Bravo Squadron be able to come back? Do they have it? Can they make something work here? Bad run, PS4 sacrifice 1 against the F-14, let 3 go after the rest? Maybe. The problem is with the F-14 is you got to get close. You got to find a way to get close to him, and if he stays into that close medium distance of like 10 miles, that becomes very difficult because F-14's not slow. He can run. So you got to find a way, if you want to do that, to corral him. Attack him from multiple angles if you want that to work, in my opinion. Stay low and go vert and shoot up? Possibly. If you're not seen. There's always give and takes. There's pros and cons to all of these. You're providing definite viable tactics here, Ron. It's just you got to be careful about how they go about them and what can happen as a con as a result. Raptor Dad says, never mind working from home and learning, hoping to join a team here. Yeah, you're on the mercenary side, aren't you, Raptor? Nothing wrong with that. So these guys are taking off. This is round 3. Bravo Squadron and number 15 tied up at 1 apiece. Bravo Squadron had 2 left at the end of round 1. Mija Pronin and who was the other one? Bobcat, I think. But number 15 had 4 left at the end of round 2. I mean, that's tough. That's going to be tough to come back from. 4? You got no kills? Imagine what that does to your morale and to your psyche, knowing that you killed no one. Your team killed no one in that round, and all of you died. That's tough. You got to have some serious mental fortitude to be able to come back from that. Dread Platoon, shooting your buddy's bad, okay? Okay. Yeah, that would be viewed as bad. The new overlay, quick throw out, the new overlay will show friendly kills. So the kills are going to be represented by icons. You're going to have one type of icon for killing an enemy and another type of icon for killing a friendly. So we're going to be able to showcase those. And like the badges on an aircraft for kills, you're going to be able to see those. And we should make people put them on their liveries. Pernov says, bet Viper has high KD this match. Possibly. Quite possibly. While you guys are watching this ingress here, I am going to grab something from Alpha Whiskey because he just sent me something that I need. But chat, I want to know what you guys think. I want to know how you guys think this round's going to go. You know how I think. You know how I feel. I think number 15 has the advantage. Plain and simple. I think they've got the advantage. What do you guys think? Do you think number 15 has the advantage? Is it their match to lose being on the back of a dominant round 2? How do you think that's going to go? All right. Got it. All right. Sorry, I was just getting an image so we can have stats at the end of this so we know who KDs and all of that. Bravo going for height. Well, let's take a look. So Bravo, everybody's over Mach 1 that I can see right now, with the exception is the Tomcat. No, the Tomcat is not over Mach 1. So Bravo Squadron right now, 30,000 feet for Mija Pronin and Predator. Strangers, 25,000 feet. I can't tell what Bobcat's at. Number 15, a bit lower. Skinner's 25,000 feet, so against his direct opponent, a Predator, 5,000 foot disadvantage. Raven's below 20,000 feet. Viper, 35,000 feet. I like where Viper's at for the most part. One part that I'm worried about for Viper I'm worried about his energy state. Viper right now. That's not what I wanted. Why you do this, game? I didn't want that. You stupid. Get rid of that. Yeah, oh, Moltar. I didn't want that. But Viper is only at 0.8 Mach. So I'm worried about his position as a launching aircraft getting the most potential energy onto his weapons. He's at 0.8 Mach now, 0.85, 41,000 feet, so he is high. So if the missile climbs, he's going to have a decent time, or the missile's going to have a decent time making something happen, right? So we've got that going for us. Going back and taking a look at the overall TAC view, this is what it looks like. So Strangers is leading the way for Bravo Squadron. There's kind of a wall forming for number 15. Cougar, more or less, leading the way for number 15, 25,000 feet. I like his energy state, Mach 1.25. Raven doing an equally good job, 25,000 feet, Mach 1.2. I would like to see them higher. You could be 30 to 35,000 feet, same speed, if not faster, giving your missile just that bit more potential energy by the time it reached its target. It's also going to close the distance to its potential target faster than if you launch from these lower altitudes and these lower speeds. Right? So we've seen Yaga and TAW Hermit come in first pass Mach 1.5. So we know it's possible. We know it's possible from last year. They got to try and utilize that potential energy coming in here. Missiles coming off from both teams now. Bobcat defending a 120. AIM 54 now out from Viper. 120 out from Predator. On to Cougar. Nobody we're watching is defending yet. Cougar now defending. Here is the AIM 54 as it trucks along towards somebody's possible impending doom. Just came off boost stage. That missile looks like it's coming onto Bobcat. Bobcat is here defending the AIM 54 that does not look like it's tracking. Just picked somebody up. Looks like it's on Predator now. And Predator is pretty far to the north. Here's Predator as he tries to get a little bit of distance between him and this incoming threat. But the threat that is targeting him is down at 0.8 Mach. So no problem for Predator in this scenario. Now we've got Bobcat unleashing a 120 onto Cougar. Cougar now defending, gets that missile warning that a fence post is headed towards him. Still got the 5 sticks on his jet. He's launched two bags on his jet. So he should be okay. Then down to the south, we've got potential harm incoming as Skinner drags a 120 up through the cloud deck. And that missile's slowed down to a point that it should no longer be a factor. 120 out from Raven. Down here in the south. That's going to come up. Looks to be targeting Strangers. Strangers just now getting that missile warning as he's breaking away. And that's not going to be a problem for anyone down there. Bobcat revisiting him as he is recommitted back into Viper and Cougar. So Bobcat, 5 fence posts still on his jet, 2 bags, full blower, is sitting at Mach 1.1. Predator defending down low in front of him. A missile from Cougar. Cougar having broken away. Here is Cougar's missile. Looks like it's going to be driven into the ground. It indeed is. Bobcat just launched a 120. That's going to be headed towards Viper. And if he's able to take down Viper, that's going to be a serious blow for number 15. Number 15 Viper just launched an AIM 54. There it goes. But he's got this 120 still at Mach 2. Coming for him under 2 miles. It's closing. Doesn't stick to the notch. The AIM 54 is chasing Not Bobcat, it's on Predator. Bobcat just unleashed another 120 onto Viper, and Viper needs to be really careful. He needs to be more aggressive in his defensive maneuvering. Missiles closing under 2 miles. Mile and a half. She's got some gusto. Mile. Viper doesn't see it because he's in a bank turn. Slams into his jet. Loses some parts. And he's going to be going down. Pausing this to take stock. Not a great start for number 15 as Viper gets hammered by the 120. Bobcat backing this up, if we watch him, was just allowed to come in unopposed. Cougar comes in to help too late. Missile launched from 5 miles, and Viper's downfall here was recommitting into the threat. He had no idea that missile was there. Blind spot on the RWR all day long when you're committing like this. Look at Viper, not that one. Look at Viper's point of view. Look at the attitude of his jet. When you're in a bank turn like this, your RWR cannot see through your lift vector. If the missile's coming in at your lift vector, you have no idea it's there, and you are going to get slammed by the all unseen facial that everybody fears. And Viper took it in the face, and unfortunately it was a big one. He's going to go down. Why don't they make a 360 RWR? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. 99. Chat's smarter than me, so they will probably know the answer to that. But we're going to carry on. Here we go. Viper seems to be dead. He is dead. Flying, but dead. He's probably going to take a missile a little bit. No, he's not dead. He's still alive. But his engines are slowly... He's dead. Yeah. Slowly but surely going into the ground. And the ground reaches out with her cold, hard embrace. Goodbye, Viper. And here is the killer, Bobcat, having been able to take him down, now trying to make something happen against Cougar. Miha Pronin now coming in from the left side. Raven trying to meet him. Here's Raven committing 4 sticks on Raven's jet. He's gotten rid of the bags. Mach 1.2. Cougar, meanwhile, up to the north. We're going to put him on a different camera. So 1 and 3, like this. So Cougar and Raven coming against Miha Pronin. Raven launches a 120. That's coming in onto Miha Pronin, launches onto Raven. Here's the missile coming in on a Raven. Needs to do a little bit better defending. Here it comes, and bye. There goes Raven. Things going from bad to worse. Bobcat now defending a missile from Skinner. 2 casualties. Count them, 2 for number 15 and 0 for Bravo Squadron. Cougar now defending against a 120. We're going to put him and Skinner up here so we can watch them and see if they're able to make anything happen. So here they are on split screen. 120 coming for Skinner. Is he going to be okay? He's trying to get into the notch. Is he going to be a notch professional like Breeze was yesterday? Tries to bank into it. No! Skinner, gone! So one after the other, Bravo Squadron popping them off. Viper, then Raven, then Skinner, and Cougar is all alone. Coming now head-on against Miha Pronin. 120 out from Miha Pronin. Cougar launches a 120 of his own. These guys are both defending. Miha Pronin looks to be doing a better job of defending. Missiles very close to Cougar. He gets slammed. Miha Pronin, meanwhile, is he going to be okay? No! Miha Pronin gets hit. Does he live, though? Yes! So Miha Pronin, though he should be dead, is still alive. Cougar almost took him down from the grave. That could have been desync. But they exchanged boomsticks. Miha Pronin, however, seems to have had the better crew chief. Lives to fight another day. His jet sticks together. Bernov, sometimes when that happens, it's desync and the missile actually isn't there. It's slightly off, so that can happen. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but sometimes it is desync. So let's go through that TAC view. Wow. How did that go? Bravo Squadron pulling a page out of the number 15 playbook, not to be outdone, comes into round 3 and kills everyone without a single casualty. No losses. Bobcat gets us started against Viper up here to the north with the 120. Early defense. Viper gets very unlucky that this AIM 54 does not go for Bobcat. Blame is Rio. Blame whoever you want. But if that missile went for Bobcat, Viper may still be alive because Bobcat wouldn't have had time to get the second missile off that ended up connecting with Viper's jet. Cougar also got very unlucky, almost close enough to take down Bobcat, but just not quite enough. Bobcat defends the correct way, away from the missile, forces it to burn more potential energy, and it actually loses track. No, it doesn't. It just doesn't have the energy. It just runs out of energy, forces to come through that turn, drives it into the ground. So great job by Bobcat. Next up to watch is Miha Pronin down here to the south against Raven. Raven recommits. And these last 3 kills, ladies and gentlemen, came down to number 15 trying to notch, but just not quite getting it just right. And the missile finding its mark and removing crucial flight surfaces from number 15's jets. So Raven goes down, followed by Skinner up here to the north. I really like this grinder-esque style thing that Bravo's got going. They've always got at least 1 to 2 guys hot. You can see that happen with Predator and Bobcat. Predator shoots, turns cold, Bobcat recommitting. They've always got an emitter facing their opponent. I really like that. So Skinner succumbs to Predator's missile. If he didn't succumb to that, after that defense, he was going to have to deal with Bobcat or Strangers after that defensive maneuvering, but not able to notch just quite enough. Gets hammered by the fence posts, and then it's Cougar against Miha Pronin. I'm going to assume Strangers got a little worried and broke away. He didn't risk it. I also like that. If you cannot see your opponent, ladies and gentlemen, there is no reason to continue to press. Better to live than to try and fly headlong into death's eternal grasp. Strangers does that and emulates that perfectly in that he doesn't see Cougar. He knows somebody's there. Maybe he's getting radio comms from Miha Pronin. Turns away. I really like that. And then recommits while Miha Pronin is coming away. So if Cougar did live, he would be right there to fire another missile and force Cougar on the defensive. And that brings us to the end of round 1. But today is a doubleheader, baby. Today is a doubleheader. And I'll update things when we go to break. Next match, TAW against 14th VFS Samurais. Diamond 6v6. This was Diamond 4v4. We're moving to Diamond 6v6. I'm going to take a 15-minute break, probably 20 minutes. So we will be back at 20 till the hour. 40 past or 20 till is when we will be back. So, guys, stick around. Go get some snack. Go get something to drink. Go stretch it out. We will be back with more SATAL action. TAW taking on 14th VFS Samurais will be coming at you in about 20 minutes. .14th VFS in a Diamond League 6v6 matchup is going to be a good one. It's going to be a great one. They're all good. They're all great. I'm just excited. Just excited. Went upstairs, got some chocolate, got some more caffeine. You know, gotta keep everything rolling. Quick shout out to Raptor Dad for the community gifted sub. Thank you very much. Just keeps everything rocking and rolling. We do have some costs in here, you know, like servers and allowing people to use stuff. And I try and give the guys that help me with stuff things. So that just goes into helping with all of that. Equipment and giveaways. And there is some news maybe coming with some giveaways coming in the future. We haven't nailed all of that down yet. We'll have to see how that goes. But let's talk about the match. TAW taking on 14th VFS Samurais. TAW are the defending champions. They are the ones to beat. They, last year in the finals, used harpoons as the poor man's TAW'd on F-18s. Now, ground weapons are now banned, and some could say that Moltar, the harpoon, is not a ground weapon. It is an anti-naval ship weapon. Well, okay, it's banned, and I encompassed it under ground weapons, just to remove people complaining and stuff. They're gone. Okay, so it's air-to-air weapons only. The AIM-9X is banned. Nukes are banned. Ground weapons are banned. Stuff like that. But they are the defending champions, and they think outside the box all the time. They come up with really unique strategies. We'll have to see what goes down today. It's TAW taking on 14th VFS Samurais. There is no supercut yet because, you know, having things this close together puts Alpha Whiskey in a little bit of a bind. So I'm going to send you guys to the... We're going to do the SATAL trailer today, so it's a little bit longer. When we get back, it's a Napa taking on Maycop, the competition's favorite. A Napa against Maycop. TAW against 14th. Here we go.
Starting to believe the world is
Here we go, boys and girls. We're in the pit. Anapa against Maycop. TAW taking on 14th VFS. Let's talk real quick about the AIM-9X. The AIM-9X isn't necessarily banned because it's hard to flare. It's banned because when you get into a merge, I didn't want it to be who can look at the person and fire first. That's not what I wanted. I wanted people to have to fight, use their energy, have to come around on somebody, and get an AIM-9 mic off. And yes, people could say, well, what about the 73? Well, the 73 is off gimbal like 45 degrees or something like that. It's not 90 degrees like the AIM-9X. So that's the reason that it is banned. Not because it's hard to flare. You can definitely flare them. It's because you get into these circle fights, and it becomes who shoots first, because at the circle fight, it's very difficult to flare a missile. And when somebody can shoot from 90 degrees off angle, that's not sporting, right? It's like taking a minigun to hunt deer. It's not, no. All right, let's talk about who's flying. We got TAW. That's who we're looking at right now. TAW. Defending champions. And then we got 14th VFS. Were they here last year? I don't know if they flew last year. I don't think 14th flew last year. They flew the year before, but they didn't fly last year, I don't think. So TAW taking on 14th in 6v6 Diamond League. Who is flying? 14th VFS, Steiny, Cookie, Single Shot, Falcon, Ares, and Kraut. 6 F-16s. I have never seen that before. 6 Vipers bring in the pain, possible pain, against TAW. Then, looking at TAW, 3 F-15s. That's right. 3 Eagles, baby. 3 F-15 Eagles. Usually we see 1, maybe 2, but we've got 3. Red Core 6, Alpha Row, and Croncat repping the Eagles, Newbie 2, and Luminary in the F-18s, and Dren in the F-16. I think we're gonna be in for some high energy goodness in today's matchup, and it sounds like TAW is taking the field. They are the defending champions. And looking at their loadouts, they want nothing to do with AIM-9s. No, Alpha Row's got 1, so they may take 1. But since this is SATAL Limited and there are no, if any, weapon restrictions, Croncat he's got 1. He's got 1 of them on there too. So it looks like the Eagles loadout is 7 AMRAMs and 1 AIM-9. Dren in the Lone 16 is 6 AMRAMs. Luminary taking all the things, 10 AMRAMs and 2 AIM-9s. And Newbie 2 doing the same thing, 10 AMRAMs and 2 AIM-9s. Tempest says, no cat is always sad. Not enough sex appeal. You an old man? I mean, the F-15's an old man too, so I don't know why I said that, but I did. It came out of my mouth. 14th VFS, everyone looks like they've got 6 AMRAMs on their jet. It also looks like they only have a centerline bag on their jet. Whereas TAW has center lines only on the F-18s, 3 bags on Dren's F-16, and no center lines on the 15s. Look at how big the 15s are in comparison to the baby 16. Look at that. You can tell that they effectively just took an F-15, cut it in half, and said, here, General Dynamics, go make something with this. And there's the 16. It's like half of it. 1 engine. These guys' engines are spooling up. They are taking off. A Napa against Maycop. I am ready for this. I am so ready for this. 3 F-15s? Are you kidding me? We haven't seen this many Eagles in years come into competitive play. And something else I want to point out is everyone from TAW took off at the same time. There is no gap. And it looks like 14th VFS is doing something very similar with this. Everyone is taking off at the same time. None of this delayed departure BS that we see from people. It's not really BS. They're just not doing it. They all rolled at the same time. So I think we're going to see some aggression. I am ready for aggression. I am ready to see people YOLOing in there, letting the AMRAMs fly and seeing what happens. Both sides going for it, says Bad Ron. Wow, single tank, let's go. Yeah, single, dude, they've got single tank all the way on these F-16s. Distance between these airfields, I think, is like 80 miles. So maybe 100 miles, Maycop against Krasnodar. So I'm anticipating VFS 14th to come in here kind of energy retentive and then just let it out. Just go. But we'll have to see. TAW's got a bit more fuel in the F-15s. With all that internal fuel, the 2 wing tanks, the F-16's got 3 bags. So what I'm anticipating from TAW is utilizing the F-16 more in line to what people typically, historically, have utilized the F-15. High energy, high altitude. And then the F-15s are going to pick up where the F-16 typically would. Robski says, makes no sense, though, lol. Drop them if you want the energy in the fight. Yeah, Robski, I would agree with you there. Take the bags, and then you can get rid of them if you don't need them. We're not worried about putting bags in farmers' fields. We're not worried about taxpayer money or anything like that. We're just not. So I'm of the opinion, like Rob, to take them and then get rid of them. Air show pylons cause drag. They do. But the extra fuel that you get from those 2 bags, I think far outweighs the drag, in my opinion. In my opinion. But we'll have to see. I want to see 14th's energy state as they enter this fight. If they're like Mach 1.8, I'm down. I can jive with that. But if they're coming in at like Mach 1.5, 1.6, we've seen it happen in the past with 2 bags. We've seen it. We've seen it. We've seen it. One F-14 with 6 Phoenix from TAW would cause enough trouble for 14th. Yeah, but there's not any. There aren't any. It's all 15s. But the 15s, guys, watch the energy states on the 15s. This is going to be a match for the ages, I think, for energy states. Everybody is going to be balls to the wall, hauling ass as they come in this first pass. Already Mach 1.38, yeah. Stein is at Mach 1.45. But look at the Eagles. And the Eagles have 2 bags. Eagles have tons more fuel. And they're at Mach 1.2 at 40,000 feet. So they're going to, the Eagles, TAW is going to have tons more gas than 14. I think gas is going to be a serious issue, problematic issue for the Samurais in this. We'll have to see. We will have to see. I'm anxious. Every crowd is at Mach 1.6. Yes. Yes. I love this. Tanks off from Red Corps. So Red Corps is now clean. They've already burned through those wing tanks. These guys want nothing to do with the bags. They are gone. I like how Robski's arguing with one of the competitors as to why they chose to do what they did. That is true. Borchi flew in this match. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever you guys think works out, works out. But Red Corps 6 just unleashed an AMRAAM, and that missile was launched from 30 miles. But it is 40,000 feet onto 45,000 feet. So we're going to have to pay attention to this one. This missile, if Steiny doesn't defend early enough, I'm anxious. I'm anxious about seeing this one. We can see Steiny out there in the distance. He's now Is he defending yet? Not really. He's diving 30,000 feet, Mach 1.6, but the missile's still at almost Mach 3, closing 6 miles, still coming, Mach 2.5 now, 3 miles, and Steiny, here he comes, and gone. Steiny deleted. What a shot from Red Corps. Steiny didn't recognize how much juice that missile was gonna have as it came in, and he gets ramrodded by the fence post. Now going up to look at Croncat. Croncat has a missile coming in on him. Wrong button. Croncat right here, already low, dragging a missile. Newbie 2 dragging an AMRAAM. There are so many missiles in the air, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be difficult for me to keep track of. Alpha Row notching a missile on his right side 3 miles away. So defensive maneuvering is going to be everywhere. We're going to stick in the TAC view for quite some time because there's so much stuff going on. Lines coming together right now, and the man I think we need to watch is Croncat, because Croncat, look at the aggression, wasting no time. He's still got 6 AMRAAMs and 1 AIM-9. Just saw LFRO launch an AMRAAM. Just saw Single Shot unleash an AMRAAM. Here is Single Shot as he tries to get away in that F-16. Single Shot now diving away. He's got 4 AMRAAMs left on his jet. But back to TAC view because there's so much stuff going on. Single Shot now dragging all kinds of missiles away from the fight, but he's got to be really careful. Croncat is behind him. LFRO now dropping 2 AMRAAMs up to the north. Those look like they're going to be at Kraut. Croncat, though, is the man on a mission. Coming in against Single Shot, Cookie, and Falcon. Do they know he's here? Mach 1.1. There's just a cluster of munitions being exchanged up here to the north. Kraut unleashed a bunch. I'm not sure how many he's got left on his jet, but there's a lot up there. Croncat and Newbie 2 carrying on. Croncat not making a decisive decision on who to come on to yet. Cookie now unleashing a missile. Falcon now coming in onto Croncat. Croncat banking in to Falcon. Falcon's in the bottom right corner. Croncat at 630 knots indicated unleashes a 120. Falcon is not defending, nor has he launched. This missile's going to hit him at almost Mach 3. If it does, coming in, here comes, and slams into Falcon's jet. Pausing this, taking a look at the TAC view, because there is crap everywhere. Look at this. How can you keep this straight in real time? Let me tell you, you can't. You can't. But things developing down here to the south. Newbie 2 now coming in on the Single Shot. And Single Shot, I don't know if he knows this yet, but Single Shot is probably going to be dead because of these missiles coming for his face. Here is Single Shot right here. Multiple AMRAAMs out from Newbie 2. Let's continue. Single Shot is probably going to be the third casualty. Half mile and face mile. Another deletion. This one at the hands of Newbie 2. And then I just saw Red Corps 6 get pulverized. So Cookie takes down Red Corps 6. Pausing this again because there's so much stuff going on. Red Corps 6 just got deleted by Cookie. And now we've got another missile out from Croncat, giving you guys a view here onto Cookie. So Cookie just having taken down Red Corps 6. And let me back up so you guys can see this here. Here's Cookie launching on Red Corps 6. Red Corps 6 just got a little too greedy. Cookie able to line of sight that missile. It goes into the ground. He gets taken down. Croncat now coming in. Here's Croncat's point of view on Cookie. And now breaking away. Here we go. Missile coming in on Cookie, and Cookie gets a bite taken out by Croncat. Croncat with 2 kills already. 2 kills. And we've only just started. So now moving up, Croncat looks like he's got his sights set onto Kraut. Going to Kraut's point of view. Aim 120 out from Kraut, looks to be on Newbie 2. Croncat coming in from the left. Does he have a shot? He's low to high. There goes the AMRAM from Kroncat onto Kraut. Kraut needs to break away, try and get into a notch, but it is a low to high shot. I don't think Kraut has a hope at all, and Kraut is now the dressing of a brat. Removed. Kroncat with yet another kill takes down Kraut, and there is only one aircraft remaining for TAW, and it is Ares up to the north. Ares in the lone F-16 with one AMRAM remaining against 5, count them 5, TAW combatants. Luminary, Elifro, Dren, Newbie 2, and Kroncat all still alive for TAW. Red Core 6, the only casualty so far for TAW. And here is Luminary trying to make something happen against Ares. Ares is significantly higher here. Ares thinking about breaking back in. Ares now coming back in from 18,000 feet, Mach 1. Newbie 2, Kroncat, and Dren now coming in from the south onto Ares. Kroncat is head on, going to Kroncat here. Newbie 2 is going to be at Kroncat's 2 o'clock, but Kroncat looks like he's going to be the man in the probable decision-making place, coming in onto Ares. Low to high shot, 8,000 to 18,000. Mach 1 launch from Kroncat. There goes 2 AMRAMs, wasting no time onto Ares. Ares isn't going to be able to notch these as they're below him, and he gets taken down. Kroncat with 4 mother trucking kills. 4 kills. The man basically did an entire 6v6 by himself. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. GameStop EDU F-16 rushing didn't work. Well, let's talk. We'll go to the attack view here. Let's talk about that. Okay. So the attack view, as we back up through this, both teams coming in a wall. 14th tried to come in and be aggressive. What they, I don't think, remembered is that TAW is one of the most aggressive teams you will ever play against. TAW is hugely aggressive. They defeat and then come in immediately. They waste no time, especially pilots like Kroncat. Kroncat is one of the most aggressive pilots out there, and he's one of the best pilots I've ever seen in an F-15. Kroncat is a force to be reckoned with. There is no question that 4 kills is within his ability. So 14th played, I think, right into TAW's game plan. They came in here aggressive and just came right for TAW. And TAW was like, this makes it easy. Let's do it. You're right here. Let's get into it. Things get started with Red Core 6 and Steiny. Missile launch from 35 miles, 41,000 feet, almost a Mach 3 closure. This missile hits Steiny at over Mach 2. There's no AWACS. There's AWACS. Was it just you guys couldn't see it? Was that the problem? Borchi? Because there's AWACS. Were you just not able to see it in the jet? Interesting. But I think 14th just played into TAW's hands here. I mean, just the aggression. Watch how these lines intermingle. Nobody defends for very long. Kroncat gets this started on the second kill, coming in here against Falcon. Pew! Bam! Falcon goes down. Newbie 2 shortly after as Single Shot tries to avenge his comrade. Single Shot then finds himself with an AMRAM up the ass from Newbie 2. Red Core 6, only casualty for TAW, gets a little too adventurous. Gets taken down, but Kroncat's there, right there, to avenge him. And I think Borchi hit it, that TAW just seemed to have a bit more situational awareness than 14th. You can see these guys are head on. 14th Cookie does not see Kroncat, but Kroncat sure as hell sees Cookie. And I think a big part of that is the F-15's vertical scan. The F-15's vertical scan is baller. I mean, if you haven't used it, it is disgusting. It is amazing what that thing can do. If you have an idea of where somebody is, vertical scan that mofo, and it'll find him. And Croncat, I'm pretty sure, used that tool to significant effect on his second and third and fourth kills here. Finds Kraut. Kraut gets taken down. And then we move up, and Ares is the only one left. I mean, look at how close everyone is together. Mutual support is off the hook right now. Ares has nowhere to go but away in this scenario. He can't come into this. He'll get his ass kicked. There's too many opposition in this area. He turns away, decides to recommit, but he's recommitting into hot contacts. Stands no chance. There's 4 TAW combatants on his nose on the recommit. Croncat able to put one right into his chin. Ares gets taken down. Last casualty. Tries to put one on LFRO, but it doesn't matter. And that's it. Aggression on aggression. TAW aggresses 14th and comes out with 5 aircraft still remaining. Round 2 will become... We are back, ladies and gentlemen, on the deck after these teams have reversed sides. 14th now at Maycop, TAW at Anapa. Dominating performance from TAW, the Art of Warfare in round 1. Let's recap who is flying for what team. TAW, as we're looking at them, is 3 F-15s, Red Core 6, LFRO and Croncat, Newbie 2 and Luminary and 18s, and Dren in the F-14. And then for 14th VFS, you've got Steiny, Cookie, Single Shot, Falcon, Ares, and Kraut, all in F-16s. There was no AWACS in this. Okay, that makes sense. So don't pay attention to this. Bear, thank you for coming out with that. That makes total sense. And why it looked like some of these guys were out and about. And okay, that makes sense. And that's why, so we need to reference TAC view from now on if there's an AWACS in a match or not. All right. I can get with that. Bear, it's just easier when I don't have to touch anything. So, but here we are. So, pilots to watch. Croncat, obviously. 4 kills in round 1. 4 kills in round 1. That is unheard of. What does 14th need to do? 14th needs to have some depth if they're going to deal with the F-15s from TAW. The vertical scan in the F-15, you've got to have depth because odds are the F-15 is going to find you first. You've got to have depth so you can find them early. Getting into a who's going to find who first shot and then shooting immediately, F-15 is going to win virtually every time. May only be outdone by a flanker. But against everything else, F-15 will kick everything's ass in finding things first because of that vertical scan inside a certain range. 14th needs to have some depth. If they can get some depth in their formation, I think they've got some potential here. If they can get some depth in their formation. Depth meaning they need to have somebody behind their lead 10 miles or so that they can scan for additional targets. Most of those kills, Croncat specifically, that he was able to get were from him not being seen and firing from low to high. When you're able to fire from low to high inside, let's say 7 miles, it is nigh undefeatable. You can't notch it. You can't out-energy it. You just gonna die. And that's exactly what happened to virtually every single one of TAW's enemies in that last match. It was a low to high shot most of the time, and they were unable to do anything because of their opponent's positioning. 14th wasn't able to do anything because of their opponent's positioning. 14th has got to get depth. They have got to get situational awareness, utilize the peer-to-peer link. They have 6 participants in the link. They have got to utilize it. And the only way you can utilize that is with depth. If you don't have depth, you can't get the benefit that the link offers you. So that's what I want to see out of 14th. From TAW, in order to carry on what they've got, aggression, aggression, aggression. They've got to keep the aggression on 14th. Don't worry about depth. You got the 15s. They don't participate in the link anyway. They're going to out close range virtually everything else in the sim, especially because this took place post last patch, which means the F-15 is a mother trucking G monster, right? So TAW just has to be aggressive. And Vic also brings up a good point. TAW has more missiles to fire. If you think about missile numbers, 14th has 6 times 6. So they've got 36 missiles. How many does TAW have? They've got 12 on each one of the Hornets, so that's 24. They have 8 on each one of the 15s, which is another 24, so we're already at 48. Okay? Then they have 6 on the Viper. So they have 54 missiles in comparison to the 36 for 14th. That is a massive difference. 18 more missiles. 18. That's a ton. More boomsticks that TAW has on their disposal. They don't have to be as picky about shot selection that 14th does. They can utilize their weapons to force their opponent into a defensive posture. When you're in a defensive posture, right, as these guys ingress, you guys can see here. When you're in a defensive posture, well, you guys can't see the defensive posture, but you get my point. You cannot shoot at your adversary. They are shooting at you. If you try and recommit back into them, you will get an unwanted facial, which no one wants. No one wants to get something in the face that they didn't see coming, especially a high explosive. That will kill you. Normal facials, while there's probably one somewhere in the world that has killed somebody, most of the time they don't. But in this case, it's gonna kill you. So TAW, with the 18 more missiles, is able to force 14th, and I hope they do it again, able to force their opponent into the defensive and keep them there as long as they keep shooting. If they keep shooting and they force their opponent to continue to defend, they close the distance, thereby increasing the PK of their next shots and eventually taking their adversary down. Red Core 6 just launched an AIM 120. We saw him get the early kill in the last round. Is this missile going to have the same potential? Red Core 6 is, where is he? He's going to be up here to the north. That AIM 120 again is on Steiny. So here is that 120 as it comes in towards Steiny's aircraft. Missile is over Mach 3, still 53,000 feet. Let's check for distance. 12 miles to go. Steiny isn't as fast this time. Mach 1.27 accelerating. 43,000 feet, just coming under Mach 3. Missile is dropping in altitude. Missile now off from Steiny. He needs to be very aggressive in his defensive maneuvering here. Missile is closing. Continuing to close inside a mile. Split S now. Missile's Mach 2, still closing. Oh, and he out-G's the missile. The missile just doesn't have the pull-up on its fins to be able to get away, and it slams into the ground. Steiny able to get away from that incoming boomstick. Here's Steiny as he continues, immediately recommits. I love this. Immediately comes back in. Wastes no time. Meanwhile, we have Red Core 6 unleashing another 120 coming in down onto Steiny. Steiny not getting the missile warning. He's got it now. Breaking away from the left, or to the left. Newbie 2 now launching two 120s at Steiny's front. But Steiny is at Mach 1.3, so he's going to be able to outrun all of these potential threats as he is at low altitude. Low altitude, thicker air, missiles don't have the energy retention that they have higher up. Alpha Row dumping down to the bottom fight. LF Row coming in, trying to make something happen against Single Shot and Falcon. He's got single shot on his right, 5.8 miles away. Falcon thinking about recommitting, 6.4 miles away. It is 10 o'clock. Who's he going to run down or try to run down? Missiles now being exchanged down to the south with Ares and Dren. Oh, we're going to stick with single shot as 120 now out from LFRO onto single shot. LFRO then immediately puts one onto Falcon, and this missile onto single shot is rapidly closing. 2 miles, still coming. LFRO is at Mach 1.15 and accelerating. I'm actually going to put one. Falcon runs his into the ground, but single shot needs to be very careful. He's going to get away from the first one, but he's forced onto the defensive, and now, where's he going? You're increasing the closure rate for your opposition to your single shot. Be very careful. Banking in, he's not going to get a missile warning from this angle. LFRO still sees him, unleashes another 120. No RWR contact's going to be made with single shot in this bank turn. Blindside, face mile, imminent, single shot. Gets clipped, gone. LFRO takes him down. First kill of round 2. Let's check out the TAC view and see how everything stacks up so far. Everybody continuing to be intermingled. Luminary and Dren down to the south. That's a bad place if you're Ares. 2v1. Ares is probably going to be running out of weapons. He's only got 6 against the 16 and 18. Luminary has 12 missiles on his jet. 12! Or he did when he took off. I don't know how many he's got left now, but we'll see. Falcon has got a 120 coming for him, and he's got LFRO. How close is LFRO to him? 2 miles. And Newbie 2 can talk LFRO onto him right here. The question is he going to be able to do so? Then we have the 2 ship of Kraut and Steiny up to the north, and the 2 ship of Red Core 6 and Kronkat way up north. So Steiny has unleashed a 120. That's coming on to Newbie 2. So that's where we will pick up the action. Newbie 2 on camera 2. And then on camera 3, who should we put on camera 3? Let's put the shooting aircraft, Steiny, on camera 3. Where's he? Here he is. So we'll go to Tri-View now. We don't use this one very much. Here we go. So LFRO on camera 1, Steiny on camera 2, and Newbie 2 on the top right. Here we go. Missiles being unleashed from Kraut and Steiny onto Newbie 2's aircraft. Newbie 2 trying to notch. I think he's tunnel vision onto Falcon. LFRO needs to try and do something for his companion. Launches a 120 up at Steiny. Steiny, no, it's on Kraut. Kraut, is Kraut going to be able to get away from that? It's going to be close, but Steiny unleashes a missile on Newbie 2. I think this one's going to connect. Newbie 2 gets taken down. Kraut able to get away, and then Steiny's got a 120 coming for him. Steiny gets taken down. Kraut's still up. Let's pause this again because there's so much stuff going on. We saw 2 guys get taken down, Newbie 2 and Steiny getting deleted. Kraut, Ares, Falcon still remaining for 14th. Dren, Luminary, Kronkat, and Red Core 6 still for TAW. All right, we're going to pick up a Luminary in this 2 ship down here in the middle. He's unleashed a 120. Picking up with him, here we go. So Luminary just launched, and I don't want to miss this because I was looking at something else. Just launched, and there's a missile right behind Ares. We can see it down on the bottom right, closing. 0.2 miles is going to connect. Here it comes. It's right there. Jogging, jogging, jogging. 0.1 miles. And I think he's going to outrun it. Just turns away. Barely gets away from it. But then we've got Falcon. Down to the south, but Luminary's missile just barely out-edged by Ares. But now Kraut's got a missile coming for him. Kraut, 120 coming for his face. Is he going to become a topping again? On a bratwurst. Here it comes. Lots of energy. 0.5 miles. Face mile. Imminent. Slams into Kraut's aircraft. He's gone. So we've got 4 pilots remaining now. Kraut got taken down. Kronkat took down Falcon. We missed that one, so we're going to back up and look at that. Kroncat is up here. Launches at 120 head-on with Falcon, and Falcon can't get away from that. Co-altitude. Kroncat in this one was actually just a few hundred feet higher than Falcon, but Falcon can't get away from that one as it's too fast. Needed to notch it, not able to do so. But even if he notched it there, he would have got slammed by a second missile from Kroncat because Kroncat forced him onto the defensive. So we pick up with Ares. He is the lone man again. Again for 14th. All alone in this very, very harsh wasteland. Now, head on with Kroncat. Red Core 6 at his 10 o'clock. Passing a missile. Kroncat is not fired yet. Kroncat just unleashed a 120 from 5 miles. You can see it closing. 3 miles now. He's got to get into the notch. Your gun is not going to do anything for you. He may know his gig is up and gets taken down. That is it. TAW asserting complete and utter dominance over 14th. Just complete massacre is what we just got to behold. TAW out-aggressifies 14th in this matchup. And we can see this one break down. They do have depth in this one. You can see Kraut and Ares in the back. But I think there's just too much separation. It's 15 miles. I'd like to see that about 10. They don't suffer an early casualty this time. LFRO is going to be the first killer, and he's down here against single shot. And what I'm finding is the missile disadvantage that 14th is finding themselves in is really impacting how they're taking this fight. LFRO and TAW use their missiles very well. They force people onto the defensive, and they continue to press. They don't turn around. They just press, press, press. Did Cookie die? Yeah, it looks like Cookie flew into the ground. We missed that one. Only 5. Yeah, Cookie flew into the ground. Good catch. Good catch, bad run. But single shot, forced on the defensive by LFRO. He gets hammered. Falcon actually very lucky that LFRO doesn't see him. Newbie 2 able to force him and keep him on the defensive. LFRO continues up here, launches another missile. That's Kraut barely gets away from that one. You can see Kraut right there. Barely gets away from that. Steiny able to take down Red Core 6, but Red Core 6 from the grave able to take down Steiny. Or no, LFRO able to get him off gimbal. LFRO was actually the one that got him off gimbal. Look at that missile. Look at that missile! AIM-9X of AMRAMs right there, ladies and gentlemen. Chad AMRAM maneuvering, as Rob said. And the one that came in on Kraut, let's take a look. Goes up, 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 up. Holy crap. That thing got close, baby. Just didn't have the gusto to quite make it. It wanted you. Borchi, it wanted you. But didn't quite make it. And Kraut able to live to fight another day. Things carry on. 14th slowly deteriorating, and then Ares is all alone. Gets schmammered by the Kroncat. Kroncat has 6 kills. Six kills. Look at that. Kroncat fires 10 missiles, 6 kills. 60% hit rate. LFRO is second with 2 kills. A lousy 2 piddly kills. LFRO, get your game up, man. Luminary got 1. What a loser. Getting 1 kill. Get on Chad Cronkat's level. 6 kills. Good God, man. In 2 rounds. Mother trucking machine. But that brings us to the end, ladies and gentlemen, of another day of SATAL. Tempest with the 100 bits says, well done. Good fight. Nice try, 14th. Who is our next match? Next match is going to be tomorrow against the Motley Crew taking on Toro Squadron is going to be tomorrow's. Saturday, Team Whatafuck against 18th Sparrows. And then we got one on Sunday, baby. Sunday, D3W taking on 404th. So tomorrow, TMC against Toro Squadron. Saturday, Team Whatafuck against 18th. Sunday, D3W against 404th. Those are the matchups that are coming for you guys for the remainder of this week and weekend. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's show. We got more SATAL action coming virtually every day. 1600 Zulu is when we go live. If you haven't done so already, follow us on Twitter for updates. I try and tweet before every one of these go lives so that I can get you guys into the stream so you guys don't miss it. So you can say, "Guy, Moltar," you say, "Babe, Moltar tweeted me. I gotta go. Gotta go watch the stream." Because we all know this is where you want to be for air combat. This place is awesome. But those are the 3 matches. 1600 Zulu. Plenty more competitive DCS action coming at you. And hopefully tomorrow, we're going to have the overlay. So make sure you tune in to find out if we've got that going for us. Tomorrow, hopefully overlay action. And I'm ready for it. But until then, guys, stay safe in those virtual skies. And I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.